The 10 Best Chicago Fire Episodes, ranked by IMDb. Hello everyone, my name is Marcus G. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and give this video a like up. As one of 3 shows that make up Wednesday's most watched dramas on NBC, Chicago Fire stands as the longest running of Dick Wolf's One Chicago universe. The popular series has been airing on the network since October 2012, and now has almost 250 episodes to show because of its success. For many fans, its ability to grow audiences from the off is the reason it's still going strong today. There aren't many firefighter-centered shows with a lifespan as long as Chicago Fire, and its continued support from fans only proves it's deserving of that success. Alongside Chicago PD and Chicago Med, this television trio consists of all the drama, love, and emotional torture one could expect, and it's a lot. And out of so many episodes, they've put fans through the ringer on more than one occasion. An episode could be one of the best for a number of reasons, from the loss of a beloved character to a memorable event. But according to IMDb, these are the greatest of them all. Tin Telling Her Goodbye, Season 5, Episode 16. There's nothing like a tense hostage situation with almost every primary character involved to pique an audience's heart rate, is there? Well, fans were met with that very scenario in the 16th episode of Season 5 when fleeing gang members sought shelter inside the firehouse, much to Chief Bowden's, Eamon Walker, and Christopher Herman's, David Egenberg, audible annoyance. The ensuing chaos saw fan favorites Matt Casey, Jess Spencer, shot in the shoulder, Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, beaten up, and Herman with an apparent heart attack, leaving viewers on the verge of a coronary event as well. Threats to the lives of Firehouse 51's members were a constant throughout this episode's entirety. And if that's not enough to create a lasting impression, what is? The last one for Mom, Season 4, Episode 20. As a firefighter, there are hard days on the job, and then there are the days that make someone question their sheer will. For Severide, Season 4 episode, the last one for Mom, pushed him to his emotional limits. Tasked with watching a little boy named JJ while a cop friend testifies in court, he's more than up for spending time with the kid he'd formed a bond with over previous episodes. But things go awry very quickly. Halfway through the episode, JJ's, Maxwell Jenkins, mom is shot before she can testify, later dying from her wounds during surgery. Severide and the rest of Firehouse 51 do everything they can to ensure JJ gets the best project for school, keeping him protected from the news until his aunt can get there. But every time he mentions his mom throughout the episode, triggers a twinge in the hearts of the firefighters and viewers. I Am the Apocalypse, Season 3, Episode 19. The One Chicago shows aren't afraid to get down and dirty when it comes to covering real-world issues. These have been tackled in many ways over the years, from drug-related crimes all the way through to terrorist-level threats. For Chicago Fire, one of their most impactful episodes came when I Am the Apocalypse was released in 2015. The 19th episode of Season 3 is intended to introduce viewers to the members of the franchise's new show, Chicago Med. But it ended in disaster when a man infected with an unknown disease pulled the pin on a grenade in the hospital's waiting room. Fans were introduced to Jay Halstead's, Jesse Lee Soffer, brother, Will, Nick Delphus, as he started his first day at the hospital. His first task? Tending to the injured in the explosion. It's one of Fire's most memorable, given its upsetting nature, but also because it left Severide with life-threatening injuries after he selflessly attempted to tackle a man to the ground. Whether he would live or die remained unknown throughout the episode, keeping viewers gripped and worried at the potential loss of a beloved character. Seventh Sacred Ground, Season 8, Episode 1. Losing a character can be one of the most heartbreaking aspects of falling in love with a TV show. Fans grow attached to its characters and their relationships as well as the universe as a whole. So when it comes to saying goodbye to a member of that family, it makes for some downright gut-wrenching episodes. Sacred Ground is arguably the most emotional of them all. Brian Zvonsek, Yuri Sardarov, better known to his team and fans as Otis, was part of the beating heart of Truck 81 for 8 years. He was a constant presence throughout the first 7 seasons. So when his life came to an unexpected end in the first episode of Season 8 with his best friend, Joe Cruz, Joe Minoso, by his side, it was nothing short of devastating. 6. I'm Not Leaving You, Season 7, Episode 22. The Chicago shows aren't shy about a good cliffhanger. Although good, they're usually accompanied by frustration and unbearable anticipation at the idea of having to wait months for answers to the burning questions they leave behind. It's not uncommon for shows like these to have cliffhangers that'll leave the life of a favorite character on the line, and Season 7 was no different. I'm Not Leaving You saw many a favorite at risk when a raging inferno put multiple Truck 81 and Squad 3 members in the line of fire. A mattress factory blaze left over 50 workers trapped in the building's basement as the firefighters worked to get everyone out safely. But pressure continued to build, and the blaze worsened, ending the season with a prolonged shot of a pressure meter climbing and a horrendously unnerving whistling as the screen faded to black. 5 Going to War, Season 7, Episode 2. Fans love it when Dick Wolf's Chicago shows crossover. Whether it's the odd character popping over to Med for a cameo or one of the annual One Chicago 3-way crossovers with all of them connecting, it doesn't matter. Seeing all of Chicago's finest interacting will always be exciting for viewers. In 2018, the casts of Fire, PD, and Med all crossed paths once more when the former kicked off the annual event with Season 7's Going to War. This year saw all 3 teams involved when a huge fire engulfed a 25-story building, sparking trouble for the Halstead brothers, Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, and more fan favorites across all 3 shows. It's one of the franchise's most intense crossovers to date. 4 Death Trap, Season 5, Episode 15. 2017's Death Trap is the first part of a 3-way crossover event between Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Chicago Justice, with the final installment serving as the latter's pilot episode. It starts out in Fire's 15th episode of Season 5, when a deadly inferno consumes an unsafe building being used as a party hangout, trapping dozens of people inside, including the daughter of Chicago PD's Alvin Alinsky, Elias Koteas. Sadly, Lexi Alinsky, Alina Janine Tabor, succumbs to her injuries in PD's installment of the crossover, making for some absolutely devastating scenes from Al. Losing a child is a pain no parent should ever have to endure, and these episodes did a heart-wrenching job of showcasing the downward spiral it can send someone's mental health. Lexi wasn't on the show often, but her death had a detrimental impact on those involved in one of Chicago Fire's most memorable blazes. 3 Real Never Waits, Season 2, Episode 22. Fire's 2nd season ended with a bang, literally. But Real Never Waits saw plenty of drama for many members of 51 before that explosive end. They were saying goodbye to Gabby, Monica Raymond, as she prepared to move to a new firehouse to start a fresh chapter in her career. Severide dealt with some internal demons, having found a little boy badly burned after he'd given an all clear. And Mills, Charlie Barnett, was on a journey to discover more about his past. They'd all found some closure by the end of the episode. But if there's one thing the Chicago shows are good at, it's leaving their fans with a major cliffhanger and a 4-month wait for answers. Called to a seemingly abandoned building, the team made their way inside as the music cut out, the dialogue decreased, and an uneasy feeling crept in. A brief moment of indistinct panic over the radio turned awry in a split second when an explosion shattered the upper floors of the building, leaving a tinnitus-inducing ringing in the ears. Bowden flew into a panic, screaming into the radio for someone to report back as the screen faded to black. Talk about an eerie ending that'll leave people wanting more. Twu A Dark Day, Season 2, Episode 20. A Dark Day was one of Chicago Fire's earliest catastrophic events. It follows the aftermath of an explosion at a charity run that destroys a significant chunk of a hospital, injuring dozens in the process. It's a crossover with PD that features Kim Burgess, Marina Squarciati, Jay Halstead, Hank Voigt, Jason Begg, Kevin Atwater, Leroyce Hawkins, and more from Fire's first sister show, and it's an absolutely devastating episode. Between the chilling cinematography and gut-wrenching scenarios, it's one of their most well-done episodes, standing out even a decade after its release in 2014. Atop its heart-wrenching imagery, its cast performances weigh a heavy emotion, with two little girls' lives at the forefront of everyone's minds. Given the nature of the episode, it can be difficult to watch in places, but it is undeniably one of their best. One My Miracle, Season 5, Episode 22. As previously stated, the prospect of losing a fan-favorite character is never easy to deal with. Prior to Otis' death in the Season 8 premiere, a danger to another character's life tipped fans up to another of Chicago Fire's renowned cliffhanger season finals. In Season 5's installment, Mouch and Casey were at the center of everyone's concerns as another factory fire threatened to kill many members of Firehouse 51. This episode is remarkable because it finishes with one of the show's most pure, emotionally driven monologues. Fearing he wouldn't make it out alive, Casey called Dawson on the radio to say goodbye, calling her My Miracle. Thus, the episode's title. Between this and Cruz asking Mouch, Christian Stolte, to make it after suffering a heart attack while confined with Herman. The way this episode concluded is still fresh in the minds of fans nearly 7 years later. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe My Fast Gossip to our channel and stay with us.